You ever sit down to study or edit or do literally anything important, and your brain is like, okay, cool, but what if we just think about that one person for a second? And then a second becomes 10 minutes, 10 becomes 30. Next thing you know, it's 1:17 a.m., you're tired, your focus is cooked, and you've got that weird mix of guilt and frustration like, bro, why am I like this? If that's you, listen, you're not broken, you're not weak. Lust is just one of the strongest attention magnets your brain has. And in the modern world, it's everywhere, it's amplified, and it's basically engineered to hijack your momentum. The good news is, you don't need to kill desire. You just need a system that stops it from stealing your day. Let me make this painfully relatable. You tell yourself you're gonna lock in. You've got an exam coming up, or a project deadline, or you're trying to post consistently. You open the laptop, you're ready, and then it hits. Boredom, stress, loneliness, pressure, whatever. Your brain goes looking for an easy dopamine win, and lust is the fastest one. It's instant, it's intense, it's an escape that doesn't ask you to be brave. But here's the part nobody tells you. Lust doesn't just steal time, it steals the ability to start. Because once your brain learns whenever life feels uncomfortable, we go here, you stop building the muscle of sitting with discomfort. And that muscle, that's literally focus. Now, before we get into the fix, I need you to hear one thing clearly. Lust is not evil, it's not the enemy. Desire is human. The problem is when desire becomes your brain's emergency exit button. When every time you're stressed, tired, anxious, or bored, you escape through the same door. That's when it starts running your schedule. And if you've ever had that experience of, I don't even want to do this, why am I doing this? That's not you being a bad person. That's a loop, and loops can be redesigned. So here's the framework. Lust hijacks focus through a simple chain: trigger, pull, time leak, guilt, repeat. And we're gonna break it with a system I call the Focus Reclaim Protocol. It takes like 20 minutes to set up, and then it works when you're tired, when you're emotional, when your willpower is at zero. And the first step is going to feel almost too basic, but it's the one that changes everything. Step 1, name your trigger pattern, not your intentions, your pattern. Because most people fight lust like it's a random monster that attacks them. It's not random, it's predictable. It usually shows up at the same times and for the same reasons. Late night, alone time, after a stressful day, after rejection, when you're avoiding a hard task, when you're tired and your brain wants comfort. So tonight, I want you to run a tiny experiment. The next time you feel the pull, don't panic, don't judge. Just ask, what was I feeling right before this? Was it stress, boredom, loneliness, pressure? And where were you? Bed, bathroom, desk? And what time was it? Because here's the cliffhanger. The moment you can predict it, you can beat it. You can't fight what you pretend is random. Step 2, flip the friction. Right now, the problem isn't that lust exists. The problem is access is instant. One tap, one scroll, one private moment. Your brain doesn't even have time to wake up and ask, is this worth it? So we make the hijack harder and the good choice easier. The cleanest move your phone charger away from your bed, across the room if you can, because most slips don't happen at 2 p.m. in bright daylight. They happen late at night when you're tired and alone and your brain is negotiating. Second, clean your feed. If certain accounts, reels, or content patterns are basically lighting the fuse every time, stop acting surprised. Unfollow, mute, block. Curate like your future depends on it, because your attention literally does. And here's the micro cliffhanger. Friction isn't about being strict. It's about creating a 2-second pause, because 2 seconds is enough to choose your life. Step 3 is the actual in-the-moment fix, and this is where most people fail because they try to resist with brute force. Don't do that. Brute force works for like 5 minutes, and then you're exhausted. Instead, use a technique called urge surfing, but we're going to make it simple and practical. When the urge hits, you do 3 things. You label it, you delay it, and you move your body. Label it like this. This is an urge, not a command. That sentence is powerful because it separates you from the feeling. Then delay it. Set a timer for 90 seconds, just 90, because cravings spike and fall like waves. And while the timer runs, move your body. Stand up, wash your face, walk to the door and back, do 10 push-ups, anything that changes your state. Why? Because urges grow when you stay still and negotiate in your head. Movement breaks the trance. And here's the thing you're about to notice. The urge won't fully vanish, but it gets quieter. And when it gets quieter, you regain choice. Now, let's make it real with examples. Students, this is the classic trap. You sit down to study and your brain instantly goes, "This is hard." Then it tries to escape. Lust is one of the most powerful escapes because it feels like relief. So your new rule is when studying feels hard, you don't reach for relief, you start a 10-minute timer and do the smallest possible version of the task. One page, one problem, one paragraph. Your brain isn't lazy, it's threatened. It's trying to avoid discomfort. But action tells your brain, we're safe, we're just working. And once you start, the panic fades. Creators, same exact thing. You're editing, you get stuck, you feel insecure, you want an easy hit of dopamine. One slip can delete your momentum for hours. So your fix is when you get stuck, you don't scroll. You switch into a 2-minute reset ritual. Stand, breathe, water, and then open the project again and do one tiny edit, one cut, one caption line, one thumbnail tweak. Tiny actions keep the identity alive. Step 4 is the part nobody talks about. You need a replacement that actually satisfies the real need. Because a lot of lust-driven distraction isn't even about desire. It's about emotional hunger, stress relief, comfort, loneliness, feeling powerful, feeling wanted, feeling something other than pressure. So you need a real rest option that doesn't destroy you after. Pick one, not 10, one. For some people, it's a quick shower. For some, it's a short walk. For some, it's music and stretching. For some, it's writing one honest line. What am I avoiding? Because sometimes you don't need more discipline. You need to admit you're overwhelmed. And once you name it, the urge loses its mystery. Now, here's the cliffhanger that changes the whole conversation. What if the goal isn't never feel lust, but to turn that energy into drive? Because desire is energy, and energy can be redirected. That's the hidden flex. When you feel the pull, you're not going to shame yourself. That's how you become someone who doesn't get hijacked. Let's talk about the worst part, slipping. If you mess up, do not spiral. Spiraling is the trap. Spiraling turns one mistake into a week. So adopt one rule, never miss twice. If you slip tonight, tomorrow you don't do a dramatic reset. You just return to the protocol. Friction flip, 90 seconds, 1 rep. Because the goal isn't perfection, the goal is control, and control comes from recovery speed, not flawless behavior. So here's your challenge for tonight. Take 20 minutes, move the charger away from the bed, clean the feed triggers that keep pulling you back, set one tiny rule you can actually follow. When the urge hits, label it, set a 90-second timer, move your body, then do one small rep towards your real goal. One page, one edit, one workout set, one task. And then comment "done" if you actually try it tonight. Because I want this channel to be a place where we build calm discipline without shame. You're not trying to become emotionless, you're trying to become selective. Because focus isn't about trying harder, focus is about building rules that protect your future self when you're tired. Try this tonight, don't wait for Monday. If you want more ice-cold habit systems like this, simple protocols that make consistency normal, subscribe. Let's level up together.